Hopefully my internet will not be unstable today because we had a cold front come in. So we were like 90 yesterday, and I think we're in the 60s today, which for Houston is pretty crazy. So we'll just get started. I'll do a share screen and make sure people can see.
Did you see some of the ladies wearing their fur coats?
All I noticed, it was like I was on a Zoom call and I had to like stop because I saw like some of my patio chairs start moving. And I'm like, no, I don't want them to end in my neighbor's pool. So I had to go out there and tie them down. So we got a northern, as we call it here. So I'll just get started. Can everybody see the PowerPoint slide? Do you not see my screen? Okay. So my name is Brian Bearden, and I'm the CEO of Upstream Marketing. And just to give you a little bit about me real quick. Let's see. I wasn't born, I didn't create the internet like other people say I did. I've just been in it a long time. My background actually includes working for Burger King Corporation and Kinko's, which are two multi-location retail companies. I was with Kinko's way before they got bought by FedEx. And I was with Burger King. I was doing all their local store marketing and grand openings for the Southwest. So it was a lot of experience from very large companies on how to market. And what I did was I took all that marketing and implemented it today in the medium that I choose, which is websites. And what's interesting about it is, we came up, actually it was one of our clients that came up with the tagline, websites that make your phone ring, because that's pretty much what we do. And you'll notice that we're different in the fact that we're not going to talk about how your logo can dance across the screen. We're talking about how people can do business with you through online marketing and make your phone ring. So I kind of start out with this kind of story real quick. If you're on the two truths and a lie, you found out that I don't actually own a pickup truck in Texas. But what I'm going to say basically is, if you can, whatever you drive, I don't care if it's a Ford or a pickup or a Chevy, or you actually use Uber because you're in the city, but let's just say that your website is like your company vehicle and you just stuff that full. I mean, you needed the whole bed of the truck to fill up with all the information about who you are and your mission statement, and that you're a woman-owned business and that you've been in business since 1973, and you cover the whole tri-state area. And you're in this truck and you're driving down the street and you're looking for new customers. And all of a sudden you see some people and you're like, I think they might be potential customers. Now, I'm a little bit dated, but when people were hitchhiking in my day, they didn't have an app. They basically put up their thumb, or they put up a cute sign like freshly showered or something like that, and said, hey, I'm interested in getting a ride. So let's just say you're in your truck, you pull over and they go, so where are you going? And before you answer them, you're like, well, hold on a minute. We've been in business since 1971. So you start talking about pretty much like the about us, the history of the company. And they go, so where are you going? And you go, well, hold on a minute. We're a woman-owned business. So we actually have, women staff, we have this kind of advantage. And they're like, where are you going? And you just keep telling them more and more about the company and more about the products that you sell. And they're like, where are you going? And finally they get pretty frustrated. So they go to the back end of the truck and they put up their sign or their thumb, and your competitor pulls up and they go, and he goes, where are you going? He goes, going to Madison Square Gardens for the trade show. And he gets in and takes your customer, because what happens is people wanted to know where they're going. You didn't answer what they were going. You answered everything about you and about how great you are. And what happens basically is your customers have a specific need. They're coming to your website and you need to directly address the need of your website, because the rest is just noise. Those people that were potential riders of yours were asking where you were going. They weren't asking about your mission statement. They weren't asking about how great you are. They were asking one specific thing. And that's what your website needs to do, is address that particular need. And what we talk about when we're talking about this is, I deal with some very small companies who compete with very large companies. So this is Titan Subsidy Innovations. They were started up by a group that actually I've worked with at two previous companies. So they're Subsidy Pipeline veterans, but it's a small startup company. So we built the website to be informative for both non-educated buyers and educated buyers, because what's happening in the industrial market now is the person who has 30 years of buying experience is retiring, and the person who's coming in to take their place only has a couple of years experience in the industry, but is very web savvy. So we knew this, and how we helped Titan was, it's a very clean site, has a picture of them and their team. has a picture of the products, easy to get to product information, not a large site, home, about us, products, request a quote and contact. Pretty easy to figure out where you're going. Built this site, launched it, tried to help them compete against the majors in their industry and help them win a multi-million-dollar project because the buyer could find the information, get a hold of their engineer, talk about how the pipeline product was going to help with their pipeline leak, close the deal. So really, they sell pipeline repair equipment. You got a leak in your pipeline, like the one in California, you need to talk to Titan to get the parts to fix it. Not a lot of information, just get the information and be direct. So again, just exactly like the hitchhikers, people were coming to the Titan site to get information. We gave them the information in a very timely manner. So begin with the end in mind. A lot of times people will talk about a website and they'll forget what the purpose is. What do you want the site to do? Because if not, it's just a bunch of graphics online that make you look really good. But guess what? It has no purpose. There's a lot of pretty websites out there that probably absolutely do not convert at all because they forget the purpose. And what is the purpose of your website? And this is the first question that I ask any of my customers when we meet is, what's the purpose of the site? And taking a look at like some of the people in V5O community, we have a gentleman who sells gyms. I mean, basically, and they can put a gym in a hotel, they can put a gym in one of your offices. So let's say, for instance, he goes, I want to increase gym remodels and hotels by 30%. That's pretty specific. So then the question would be, if I was a hotel coming to the website, could I get information about remodeling my gym now that COVID is over and my hotel's reopening and people may actually use my gym? Does that website address gym remodels? So how about we have a great food photographer in V5O. What if he wants to book 6 food photography shoots in the next quarter? Does his website talk about all the great stuff he's done for other food purveyors or food suppliers? And is the website addressed for that? Catherine Brown sells a book, but when you buy the book and you go to her website, maybe one of her goals might be enroll 10 people into my weekly group sales coaching program. If that's a specific goal of the website, then her website needs to address people coming to the site possibly needing coaching. V5O has a website, and if V5O said, hey, we want to grow our membership by 50% before December, how easy is it to get the code so you can come to the Thursday happy hour? You know, if that's where you want to grow, are you using testimonials, video testimonials, since we have people who are awesome with testimonials and awesome with video testimonials? You know, what is it that makes somebody think I need to be part of this group on every Thursday? And is the website addressing that particular need? So that's where we're talking about be specific, because what I always say is, you know, if it's not specific, it's graphics online. And what you really want to do is you want that website to help you close more deals, build more gyms, get more food photography shots, or grow your membership. Your website needs to address that. ESC Partners, we did a website redesign for them. They're an environmental consulting company. This is a very crowded industry with people who are just startups all the way to somebody like ESC who has been in the business for numerous years. So what we said was, what do you want to do? And they go, well, to start with us, you need to do a phase 1 study. Okay, well, how about if we address what you do, talk about the industry, talk about the projects, and the main call to action is to request a phase 1 study. Well, guess what? We launched the site, and within 6 months, we had a 400% increase in people requesting phase 1 studies because that was what the major call to action was. And then they told me that they were awarded 4 large projects in 2021 because the leads came directly from the website. So what we tried to do with them was, this is a very unique site. It uses stock video. It has very specific information about their projects. It has at the bottom an interactive map because they have 4 locations in Texas. So if you have a project in Dallas, or you have a project in East Texas or Houston, they can help you. So again, it was very specific. We want to grow our phase 1 requests. That's what we did with this website. So again, stay true to your purpose. When you're sitting there and you're thinking about it, and the CEO has got all of these great ideas about, we need this on our website, we need this on our website. If you go, the website is to increase 6 bookings for food photography. Great. Is it addressing that specific purpose? If not, well, you include it on certain pages, or maybe it doesn't even go on this phase of the website. You want this phase of the website to be specific to what that purpose was that you initially came up with, so that the website addresses what you need. And that's what we're trying to talk about when we look at it is, we helped Bearden Sausage launch the new Bearden website because they launched a new branding strategy for the site. Visually tell the story of simple ingredients for sausage. They want you to know the ingredients in the sausage. I don't know how many sausage companies really want you to know the ingredients that are in the sausage, because that's one of those things like hot dogs. If you probably knew what was in sausage, you probably wouldn't eat it. They specifically said, we want a website that shows the simple ingredients, the fact that it's made in small batches, and it follows our branding. So here we go. Here's beardensausage.com. And you can see we use some graphics. There's some animation on here from meats, all natural ingredients, real hardwoods, because there are people who read the back of the label. There are people who want to know what's going on with their sausage. And this was specifically for that audience. If you're just interested in grilling because the Astros are on TV and you want to grill some sausage, they have Home Smokehouse, which is your Texas True sausage. And then they have Bearden for the people who are a little bit more health conscious and they want to know what's going on with the ingredients. So here we go again. What the direct purpose was, let's launch the new brand and tell the story of simple ingredients. And that's exactly what the website does. And one of the things that we always talk about is a clear call to action. My second question is, what's the purpose of the site? And my second question is, what do you want people to do before they leave the site? And before they leave the site, do you want them to call you? You want them to pick up the phone and schedule an appointment? A lot of these people use Calendly. So do you want me to set up an appointment with you for 15 minutes to talk? Do you want me to download a white paper? Once you have a purpose of the site, figure out your call to action, because you want this call to action to be as clear, as concise as possible, because a confused mind does not buy, they leave. So that's the reason why for a lot of retail companies in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the phone number, because guess what? On your mobile device, that's the first thing that'll show up and you can just click and call it. For a lot of my B2B customers, it's like, okay, these are our products and these are our services, and we make it extremely clear on how to get to that information. And then it's request a quote. We want you to go to the request a quote area, or you want us to call you. But again, make it easy for people to do business with you with a clear call to action. And that's what we always talk about, is make it easy for people to do business with you. Amir and I are working together on for one of his clients. The gentleman was adversely affected by Hurricane Ida and owns a furniture store, and the furniture store was devastated. So I said, well, why don't you just give me access to the site? We'll put a pop-up that'll come up and tell you what's going currently on with your business. You had a nor'eastern come yesterday. If you were adversely affected, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to go on your website, create something to let people know what your current business situation is. Because that's exactly what you want people to know is, if your business was destroyed by something, but you're working off a cell phone and you're remotely, let people know. If your business was adversely affected by the COVID restrictions and you can't deliver, or you can't see people face to face, or they need a vaccine card now, make it easy for people to do business with you. Let them know. Let them know on your website how they can do business with you. And create a clear path for them to take so they don't get confused, because again, if they're confused, they'll leave. And confusion will lose them. So one last thing we want to talk about really is, in my world, it's called responsive programming. When you build a website, you're not only building it for desktop, but you're also building it for a tablet, and you're building it for a mobile device. So when you're looking at something like this, what you want to take a look at is, what is the last thing that people will see when they scroll all the way down to the bottom of your site? Hopefully it's not scroll all the way back up. Hopefully there's contact information at the bottom of the site. And this is for one of my custom home builders. When you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the site, you get their phone number, their address, and a contact form. So even if, and this is on every page. So if you're on the page and you're like, you know what, I just want to talk to them about the fact that I just bought a new house and I'd like to remodel it, they can just fill out this contact form and hit submit. They don't have to dig for the information. So take a look at your site, not only on desktop, but take a look at it on the tablet and take a look at it on your phone. And I use I'll go to the AT&T store and I'll use the 13, 12, 11, 5, whatever I can get, just to see what the website looked like, because not everybody's going to have the most latest version of the iPhone. So to kind of wrap it up real quick, I wrote a book. I'm coming out with version 2 pretty quickly. 52 tips to turn your website into a sales machine. This is so funny, really quick. I was about to change one of the tips, and 5 minutes before this presentation, I got a call from a client. I'm doing a website for an elevator modernization company. Their whole world is to modernize elevators. They haven't updated their website in years. And so what is the question the guy says before we're about to launch the site? Can you put a counter on there? And I said, counter? I go, what is that? And he goes, you know, the little thing that kind of rotates to tell me how many people have been on my site. And for a minute, I thought I was getting pumped because I haven't put a counter on a site in 10 years. But then again, I thought this is a gentleman who doesn't know web. So I said, no, we don't put counters on sites anymore. We use Google Analytics. And Google Analytics will tell you pretty much anything you wanted to know about your site. So I got to look at these tips, but I have a feeling that I'm going to keep the one about counters. I'm going to keep the one about why we don't underline, because with underline, it looks like a link. So a lot of the things that you would think, you know, well, why don't we do this? It's pretty important to make sure you're not doing that because again, counters are old, why we underline is old, but it's available on Amazon for right now. The Kindle version is 99 cents. And so if there's anything that I can help you with, I've sold probably about $3,400 worth of books. The credibility of that book has probably gotten me close to $1 million in the last 4 years of business because I had that book. So that's me. And that's why I sit here every day loving to do websites.